Howdy, folks, and welcome to the breaking news of the day on Stupid Talk and Stupid Talk Daily. Thank you for all you being here tonight. And we got some really good stuff. We're going to start out with breaking news and go to a guy you all seem to know, Tucker Carlson. And here we go. We're going to talk about him tonight. We're going to watch a little video of old Tucker Carlson and what he is doing. And he went to Russia. And what did he find out? Let's see what he has to tell us all.
I went from amused to legitimately angry. So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody hears from the United States, buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400. It was $104 US here. And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought, corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized.
And there you go. Look at that. So take it from the word of Tucker Carlson. Yes, that's what he is up to today. He went to the Russian grocery store, and what cost $400 here is only $100, a little over $100 there. That should make pretty much anybody mad. So what are they doing to us that we just don't know? Are we have the value, our money is more valuable than theirs, and yet they can buy more with less. Something to think about, everybody. Something to really think about. Well, and now we're going to go on to our next article. And of course, I always got some really good articles for you. And tonight will be no exception to the rule. Let's go through that now. And I'll start to share with you all these good things I have. Breaking news 2024 will be the bloodiest. Yes, the blood will flow in the streets as America is a powder keg ready to blow. Biden regime using lawfare and federal agents to thwart the will of the people. Yes, that's right. Presidential election years are always fought with tension as platforms of Democrats and Republicans are opposed ends of the spectrum. But in 2024, the tension threatens to explode into mass violence. Before detailing what makes this presidential election far different than any other in history of the nation, let's first deal with the claim that both parties have. Of course, they're both different. They're both they're different sides of the coin, but yet they're the same coin, people. Wake up. Yes, we have the rhinos, the Republicans, and we got the Democrats. Abortion, killing, and unborn is such issues that the Republicans are opposed to, while Democrats are pushing in the same cases for unlimited abortions right up to the moment of birth and beyond. Regulations, big governments, tariffs, welfare are just the tip of the iceberg, as topics that right and left are completely opposite. No, they're not. So, no, the two parties are not different sides of the same coin. Yes, they are. I beg to differ. Back to the topic of this piece, such as the fact that 69% of Republicans and independents that lean right believe that the 2020 election was rigged and Joe Biden is an illegitimate president. Is that true or false? Only you can imagine. On to our next article. Let's look on the better side of life. Roman campus is unearthed at Armageddon. Yes, there is a place called Armageddon. Archaeologists discover an 1,800-year-old base site in Israel's earmarked by the Bible for mankind's final battle. And it yet may be. If Iran decides to shoot nukes at Israel, of course it'll be. 1,800-year-old camp at the foot of Tel Megiddo housed 5,000 soldiers. I wonder how they knew it was only 5,000. Maybe it was 5,001. In the book of Revelation, this is where the kings are brought together to do battle. Okay, yeah, right, whatever. A Roman, it says here in the book of Revelations, whatever is where the kings of the world are brought together by demons to do battle before God unleashes his terrible wrath. In Hebrew, the name Bar Megiddo means Mount Megiddo, was rendered as Armageddon in Greek, leading to its present infamous moniker. Now it seems to be the ominous site has full form of hosting large armies, having once held the biggest Roman army base ever found in Israel. Oh, well, there you go. The biggest army base ever found in Israel. Right there, people. Thousands of years ago, troops had marched right there. And now they're digging it up. Maybe they'll do it again. So let's go on our next article. Breaking news, powder keg. How modern conditions are priming society to embrace the beast system. Right under the nose of a sleeping church. Article 18, the casualties of cause. Yes, let's see what this is about. While radical injustice is always indeed a cause for outrage, Antifa's obligations, objectives nurtured a settling wherein civil unrest could be instated and anarchy promoted. Soon laws were broken, citizens were terrorized, and authorities were outnumbered. Sounds like a bad movie or a good movie, one way or the other. Destructive riots. Yes, of course. People were injured. For example, many people of color were killed during the riots. Among them were 77-year-old retired police officer David Dorn, who was investigating an activated security alarm when he was killed by looters. Federal officer Patrick Underwood became another casualty when shots were fired at a courthouse from a passing automobile as a protest in California. The life of a 22-year-old Italia Kelly was claimed instantly by a stray bullet as she was leaving a protest that had turned unruly. David McGee, a 53-year-old restaurateur, was killed in a volley of gunfire. The 50-year-old father of 4, Marvin Francis, was shot by 3 younger men, presumably attempting to steal his car outside a protest. 38-year-old Chris Beatty was killed while he tried to save 2 women from being robbed near one of the demonstrations. Yes, and it goes on and on. Some who observed the social political climate in America perceive the country's being in the embryonic stages of armed insurgency. Well, will it happen? I don't know. Firearm sales hit a record high in June when gun purchases related to background checks spiked to 3.9 million in that month alone. Do you have your projectile protector? I don't know. On to our next article. Scientists try risky air and water experiments hoping to stop climate change. Yeah, that's right. That dirty word, climate change. Scientists desperate to stop or reverse climate change are dumping chemicals in the ocean and spraying salt water in the air. What can go wrong? Let's see. In the long or short term, let's see what it has to say. Wall Street Journal reports scientists resort to once unthinkable solutions to cool the planet, dumping chemicals in the ocean, spraying salt water into the clouds, injecting reflective particles into the sky. Scientists are resorting to unthinkable techniques to cool the planet because global effects to check greenhouse gas emissions are failing. These geoengineering approaches were once considered taboo by scientists and regulators who feared that tinkering with the environment could have unintended consequences. But now researchers are receiving taxpayer funds and private investments to get out of the lab and test these methods outdoors. What could go wrong? And here they are, tweaking the climate Look, somebody made a nice little picture that tells what they're going to do and how it's going to work. Oh boy, look, if we spray stuff in the sky, the sun won't come down to the earth. And if they spray stuff in the ship from the ships out of the water, it'll go up into the sky. Oh yeah, that's right. This could be a great thing or the worst thing in the world. You can research it yourself. Here's the experiments that are underway. Marine cloud brightening. Researchers aboard a ship off the northeastern coast of Australia near Whitsunday Islands and spraying a Brighteon mixture through high pressure nozzles into the air in an attempt to brighten low altitude clouds that form over the ocean. Scientists hope bigger, brighter clouds will reflect sunlight away from the earth, shade the ocean surface, and cool the waters around the Great Barrier Reef, where warming ocean temperatures have contributed to massive coral die-offs. The research project, known as Marine Cloud Brightening, is led by Southern Cross University as part of a $64 million or 100 million Australian dollars reef restoration adaptation program. What could go wrong with that? That sounds like fun. Just spray water in the sky. Here's one. Stardust Solutions in Israel, a startup called Stardust Solutions has begun testing a system to disperse a cloud of tiny reflective particles about 60,000 feet in altitude, reflecting sunlight away from the earth to cool the atmosphere in a concept known as solar radiation management. Now, how many particles are they going to have to spray up there to cover the whole earth? That's what I want to know. Here we go. Dumping lye into the ocean. Oh, that's got to be good. Dumping lye into the ocean. In Massachusetts, researchers at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution plan to pour 6,000 gallons of liquid solution of sodium hydroxide, a component of lye, into the ocean, 10 miles south of Martha's Vineyard this summer. Man, they'll kill all the fish. They hope the chemical base will act like a big tablet of Tums, lowering the acidity of a patch of surface water and absorbing 20 metric tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, storing it safely in the ocean. This reminds me of a half-baked idea in the 60s. That's right. Yeah. Oh boy, that was a good one. Let's see. Corporate layoffs despite ongoing masses. This is our next article. Wake up. Here we go. Despite ongoing masses, corporate layoffs, government supplied jobless claims data continue to decline. You mean people are getting more jobs? A mass corporate layoff continues to mount, with SCO the latest to announce 5% global workforce reduction. Oh, people are losing their jobs. Yeah. Should we be shocked that expectations were for a very small rise in initial jobless claims last week? What does this look like in the real world labor market in 2024? Look at Twitch, laid off 35% of their workforce. Romba, 31%. Hasbro, 20%. LA Times, 20%. Spotify, 17%. Levi's, 15%. Xerox, 15%. Quatrilix, 14%. Wayfair, 13%. Washington Post, 10%. Snap, 10%. eBay, 9%. Business Insider, 8%. PayPal, 7%. Or 7%. Charles Schwab, 6%. Duskin, 6%. Cisco, 5%. UPS, 2%. I wonder why we're not getting any of our stuff and things done. BlackRock, 3%. Paramount, 3%. Citigroup, 20,000 employees. So there you go. There's our statistics for the day. And as you can see, just goes on and on and on. And yep, doesn't look good. If you got a job, be lucky. Be happy. There you go. Next on our list, Doomsday Clock update. The globalists keep warning us that it's an emergency. It's imminent. There you go. On the heels of World Economic Forum meeting of the globalist power players, where we were treated to news of possible pandemic with a fatality rate 20 times that of COVID-19, the globalists are giving us a fresh warning. A doomsday clock, first created in 1947 as a way to gauge global threats such as nuclear war, pandemics, and emerging technologies, gave us this yearly update. This year, the doomsday. Well, yeah. So there you go, our doomsday clock. The doomsday clock. Every freedom-loving American should be worried about the latest predictions of global chaos coming from the globalists. They use the predictions as a reason to support a raft of horrifying precautions, including mass vaccinations, world government, and the eradication of our basic freedoms. What could be better than that? What is disease X and why are globalists warning about it? Well, it can't be any worse than the last disease. And if you get it and you die, you don't have to worry about the disease anymore. I guarantee it. Here, scientists alert describe disease X as what? With a fatality rate 20 times that of COVID-19. No vaccine. Disease X could swiftly bring humanity to its knees. Few would be left untouched by the pathogen were it to gain hold, causing healthcare systems to crumble, economies to collapse, as the world once again tried to contain a force of nature. And with that, yeah, doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. What's our headline? Headline of the day. What do we got? Russia. From the World News, Russia denies space-based weaponry. Claims say trick to get Ukraine funding. Of course it is. The Kremlin has shot down claims it wants to put nuclear weapons into space. It is a trick by the U.S. to get more money for weapons for Ukraine. Moscow claimed ominous warning that Vladimir Putin wants to take out satellites is a malicious fabrication, but wouldn't go into details about any plan. Of course they're not. They're going to give up their plans. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said he would not comment on the substance of the reports until details were revealed by the White House. But he said Washington's warning was clearly an attempt to get Congress to approve more cash to send to Zelensky to fight Russian troops. It's obvious that the White House is trying to hook or by crook to encourage its Congress to vote on a bill or allocate money. This is obvious, he told reporters. And it should be obvious to you too, people. Wake up. It emerged on Wednesday evening that Washington believed Russia was advancing plans to deploy a space-based nuclear weapon. Potential goal was to use it to knock out Western satellites. Okay, next article. Breaking. Here, O'Keefe Media infiltrates secret monstrous encampment in Arizona near the border. Illegal immigrants, that's what we're talking about, posing as donors and land surveyors with the help of an illegal immigrant working undercover. Oh my God, recordings show that this nonprofit engagement is in paranoia hostility towards law enforcement. White people, recommendations to violate asylum laws, and offers of for-profit services, actions related to more human trafficking operation than a humanitarian nonprofit. Hidden cameras show Mexican men from Sonora, Tijuana, pointing guns at our undercover illegal immigrant and requesting $300 cash to traffic him to Phoenix. Stuck inside the camp, our undercover journalist was interrogated and feared for his life. And there we go. That wasn't good. That's dangerous. Here, back to Tucker. Next up on our list, Tucker Carlson warns dangerous elites think they are God. Yes, independent journalist Tucker Carlson warned members of the World Economic Forum are very dangerous because they think they're God. And so the world God, that's what they say, you know, you will eat bugs and you will be happy. And the Carl Schwab, of course, without mentioning him by name, Carlson referred previous comments made by the WEF founder and chairman Carl Schwab, as says As Slay News previously reported, Schwab also spoke at the WGS and unveiled the WEF's plans for humanocracy. Schwab described a disturbing fusion between human beings and artificial intelligence technology, which he said is part of the WEF's agenda for a new world order that will transition humankind into a new era. In the new world order, you will eat bugs and you will be happy and have nothing. That's my interpretation. Okay, and it just says more of the same here. Blah, 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 blah. According to Schwab, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it sounds good. Oh, next article on the list, Kamala Harris urges to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Biden from office. The only reason she can't do that is because she's not smart enough. She's probably still laughing. Calls have been increasingly growing under louder for Democrat President Joe Biden to remove from office amid mounting concerns about his age and fitness. It has come abundantly clear to a majority of Americans, particularly in recent weeks, that the diminishment of Biden's mental casualties and cognitive abilities has reached a dangerously concerning level. The situation has now reached the point that Vice President Kamala Harris and Biden cabinet are being urged to invoke the U.S.'s Constitution's 25th Amendment and remove the sitting president from power. And Republican officials such as West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey are now making these same claims. Yeah, so there you go. Kamala might be our first woman president by default. Next article in the news. And here we go. Berlin fall again. Tractors protest by farmers, economy in free fall, and rise of far right have turned Germany into a sick man of Europe. Some 500 tractors gather at Berlin's landmark Brandenburg Gate, and 5,000 paraded through Munich streets. And there you go. How would you like that? In your town, lights flashing and horns blaring, 3,000 tractors trundled through Hanover in Germany, bringing its streets to a gridlock standstill. Stepping down from his cab, a farmer, Alex Fretch, told me his begrudged nation's economy is breaking down. Of course it is. Thousands of tractors. Wow. And let's move over to this article. New article. Look at that. Advanced Amazonian agriculturists intentionally created terra preta thousands of years ago. Fascinating body of research has revealed how intimately our ancestors were connected to the earth, specifically ancient Amazonians, who intentionally created a fertile dark earth, or terra preta. This study has found that despite the highly acidic and low nutritional content of the Amazonian soil for agricultural purposes, ancient humans intentionally modified the environment around former human settlements to allow their expansion. This study was published by Science Advances, and it goes into the University of Florida and institutions of Brazil, and they were doing research in the Amazon, inhabited by the Kirkolo people, a team of researchers led by the anthropologist Michael Heckenberger from the University of Florida, and so forth and so on, and discovered that these communities utilize sophisticated agricultural methods. Well, I tell you what, if they lived there for thousands of years, they had to grow some sort of food. And that's all I can say. And of course, they're going to fertilize the soil. And it's still there today, people. It's still there today. Okay, it talks about these people. You know, they may look simple and everything, but they were probably good, hard workers. Intentionally of dark earth, or it says, talks about, involves minerals accumulation waste that breaks down over time, enriching the soil, which supports crops. Basically, they put manure on the soil, they put leaves and stuff like that. They rototilled it in and grew some good vegetables. That's what they did. So putting it that way, there you go. One of those things. And if we don't look out, this is what could happen. And gotta love it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the news and everything, because that's the way it rolls. So thank you for joining me tonight, and we'll be with you again very, very soon.